Hey Doc, it's me, Mark Wahlberg. Make sure you like and subscribe to 814 Projects. Thank you. I'm 814 Projects, and this is the next project. I'm going to frame the inside of my ABSCO 3032 GK metal shed. I'm going to use wood framing, and the reason why I'm doing this is because, as you can see, other than the ridge beam, there is no structural framing in the roof of this metal shed. And where I'm located, we can get some really severe snowstorms. So I checked the specs on this shed, which I should have done before I purchased it. And I found out that the roof with no added structural components will support 10 pounds per square foot of snow. And I'm just thinking that's not going to be a lot, and with a big snowstorm this roof's going to collapse. So, and why I picked this shed was because I needed something that was budget friendly, that had a wide enough doorway to be able to pull my ATV with a plow attached in and out easily. And this ABSCO 3032 GK had a 60-inch door opening, which comparable sheds were maybe like 50, 54, and the smallest ATV plow you can get is 48 inches. I think this is about 50. So I did not want to have to take off a plow and put on a plow every time I put my ATV in or moved it in or out of the shed. So that was the whole purpose for getting this ABSCO brand 3032 GK. I mean, and staying budget friendly. At the time, lumber prices and material prices were outrageous, and I think I paid, with this metal shed and the concrete pad that I poured, and it's a 10 by 10 shed, I think that it was around like $1,300 to $1,400 I have in it total. And if I would have built my own with, as I mentioned, lumber prices and material prices, I would have spent well over $2,000, maybe even $3,000 for a shed. And that's what you always got to take into account when you're thinking about a project, is budget, number one, and time, number two. Because if you have unlimited time and unlimited budget, you can build and do whatever and make it as nice and as large or as fancy as you want. But, you know, I'm on a tight budget and I don't have a lot of time. So, you know, that just limits me to having to get a metal shed, a prefab metal shed, and, you know, throw the thing together. And I wish I wouldn't have to frame the roof of this shed, but I'm going to have to, because I really think that one big snowstorm will destroy this thing. And I want to talk about my plans for it. As you can see, there's a plumb bob I have coming down from that ridge beam. And I'm going to, instead of putting 4 walls up, I'm going to do a 4x4 post on one end, and then a 4x4 post there. And then I'm going to do 2 2x4s for a ridge, we'll call it a ridge beam, structural ridge beam. And then I'm going to use 2x3s for the rafters, and I'm going to build 2x3 walls. 2 short 2x3 walls for the doorway, and then about a 10-foot long 2x4 or 2x3 wall on the back wall there. And I'm only doing the 4x4 posts on the edges because of price, because of budget. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to add more video and show you guys how to do this. There are no real good videos out there about, you know, that tell how to go about doing this. So this is kind of, I'm ad-libbing all of this pretty much. So we'll see how it goes. And all, I just wanted to go back and talk about the design of this metal shed. most of the metal sheds that you see, like Aero brand, I guess is probably the most popular. The ridge beam runs perpendicular to the door opening, and then the gable ends of the roof are on the sides, versus this one where the ridge beam runs parallel to the door opening. So it's going to make it, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to make it harder for me to bring rafters down over the door opening. And I'm not going to be able to do that because here's another point. I don't want to sacrifice headroom because I'm already 6'1", and I just think it's going to be more difficult to pull the ATV in with the plow with a door opening that's even lower than it is already. So I'm hoping that with some blocking across the middle of this roof here, it'll give it enough support to not fall in with the snow load on it. So stay tuned.